please welcome the technical officials to court number 2.
Hello and welcome to the ancient city of Odense for semi-finals day at the Yonex Denmark Open, presented by Denise. This is one of the oldest tournaments in the sport of badminton, having first been staged in 1935. Nowadays, it's part of the elite tier of tournaments, the Super Series. In fact, it's the 9th event on the 12-tournament MetLife BWF World Super Series. Not only the 9th event, but also the fourth of 5 Premier events, an even higher tier of tournament within the Super Series. The other Premiers, the All England, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the last one will be China. At the end of the year, also the Super Series finals, and the destination once again is Dubai. Top 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines. Well, it is semi-finals day, as I say, and we're starting with mixed doubles in this year's World Championships. Silver medalists Liu Cheng and Bao Yixin up against the former world champions Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir. Then we've got men's singles, and the defending champion and 3-time winner of this event, Chen Long, also happens to be the world champion. He's up against the young Dane, Victor Axelsen, who sensationally beat the 2-time Olympic champion, Lin Dan, yesterday. Then we've got the second of the mixed doubles and 3-time former winners, the home players, Joachim Fischer-Nielsen and Christina Pedersen, up against Go Sung-hyung and Kim Ha-na from Korea. Then women's singles and the 2-time world champion, Carolina Marin from Spain, up against PV Sindhu, who has twice been a world championship bronze medalist. Then we finish with women's doubles and the qualifiers, Jung and Shing from Korea, up against Kakiwa and Maeda of Japan, who are today appearing in their 3rd consecutive semi-final here in Odense. Well, I'm Jill Clark, delighted to say that sitting alongside me, former head coach to the Danish national team, Steen Pedersen. And of course, the crowd, it's a sellout, I understand, today, but the crowd are yet to fill all of their seats. It's understandable at the weekend. But here we go. There's the first of our matches, the mixed doubles. Liu Cheng and Bao Yixin against Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir of Indonesia. Well, I was mentioning that there is the Super Series finals at the end of the year for the top 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines in the Destination Dubai rankings at the moment. Well, there was a sensation on Thursday because the number 1 pair there on the list prior to the Denmark Open, they'd played 6 Super Series tournaments, they'd reached 6 finals, winning 4 of them, but they lost in the round of last 16. Of course, we're about to witness the number 2 pair on that list playing against the number 6 pair, who went up 1 place after reaching the semi-final in Korea. Well, as far as the draw is concerned, I was telling you about that sensational defeat of the world and Olympic champions Jiang Nan and Zhao Yunlei in the last 16. This is how it looked from quarter-final stage. And isn't that just wonderful to see? 4 different nations involved in semi-final stage. In fact, that's the case in both the men's singles and the women's singles as well. I think the world of badminton is in a very healthy state when you see things like that and the spread of nations. I can tell you, there's my little comment about the crowd not fully in yet. I can see them streaming past our commentary position right now, Steen. They're obviously arriving for the start of play, which is great. Here come the World Championship silver medalists. 2nd consecutive semi-final here, Liu Cheng and Bao Yixin.
The world ranked number 2 and the winner of the Dongfeng Sichuan.
Well, as far as their opponents are concerned, number 2 seeds Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir. This is their 11th tournament of the year and their 10th semi-final. They've been beaten finalists here at the Denmark Open for the last 3 years. Steen, they really are an incredibly consistent pair, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely, and earned their spot on the top of the world rankings. Of course, not the number 1 position, but a regular, as they are in the semi-finals.
So this young pair from China, well, they were world junior champions in Guadalajara in 2010. And in a way, it's quite unusual when pairs from World Junior Championships continue through to the senior ranks. In fact, no pair has won the World Junior Championships and followed it up by winning the World Championships. There are individual players who have achieved that feat in the doubles, but no pair. They were jolly close this year in Jakarta. Bao Yixin, 23 years of age, her partner the same age. Indonesians obviously far more experienced. Liliyana Natsir turned 30 last month. But here are the youngsters from China, world number 4s. They have actually been one place higher in the world ranking. And as we saw from the Super Series standings, they are number 3 at the moment, having gone up one place after being in the quarterfinal of the Korean. This second consecutive semi-final here at the Denmark Open. And you can see their 3 previous matches all won in straight games. The first 2 rounds were against qualifiers, both of them from Korea. In the quarterfinal yesterday, it was the number 6 seeds, the married couple, Mr. and Mrs. Adcock, Chris and Gabby. And in fact, the Chinese pair had to save 2 game points in that opening game before winning it 25-23, 21-18. So to the Indonesians, and Tontowi Ahmad, 28 years of age. As I say, Liliyana Natsir has just turned 30. First female player in the world of badminton to win 3 world mixed doubles titles. Park Ji-bong, a male player, won 3 titles as well, but she was the first female. They're currently number 2, as you say, and that is the highest they've ever been. Also number 2, as we saw in the Super Series standings. They were world champions in 2013. And they've had a little more trouble on their way through to today's semi-final. 3 games in the second round against Dani Krisnanta and Vanessa Neo of Singapore. And in the quarterfinal yesterday, if you were with us, you will have enjoyed that one against the number 8 seeds, Lu Kai and Wang Yaxiong. Hour and 5 minutes for that. So this is the 7th meeting between these 2 pairs, and the previous 6, well, 4 have gone to the number 2 seeds and the former world champions. The last time they met was actually in this year's Indonesia Premier Super Series quarter-final stage, and as you saw, it was 2 straight games. Well, not only very consistent, the Indonesian pair, as we look at our court officials for this, Klaus Schlieben from Austria and Henrik Boas from Denmark. But the Indonesians won the Asian Championships earlier this year. They reached the All England final. Again, of course, that was on the back of winning 3 consecutive All England titles. And 4 consecutive finals at the All England Championships is pretty impressive for the Indonesians. For this Chinese pair, well, they've been in 5 finals this year. Won the India Super Series. That was their first and only Super Series title when playing in their 3rd Super Series tournament final. Also won the China Masters Grand Prix Gold. Reached the final in the Swiss Grand Prix Gold, the Australian Super Series, and also, of course, the World Championships, where they got that silver medal. I do like the progression, I have to say, Steen, with the Chinese pair. Bronze medalists in Copenhagen World Championships, silver in Jakarta this year.
So we know what to expect in Glasgow in 2017, perhaps.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
No, me neither.
Liliyana Natsir and Tontowi Ahmad, Indonesia. Bao Yixin to serve to Liliyana Natsir. Level play.
So the first was semi-final. Oh, my goodness me!
That's probably the best start we've seen all week.
That is extraordinary, isn't it?
But
what a shot! Ah, that could be a contender for our play of the day.
And I was just thinking while you were presenting the merits of Liliyana Natsir, she must have won the first World Championship when she was only 20, is that correct, in 2005?
That's right. In fact, I don't think she'd turned 20. I think she was still 19. Her birthday in September.
That's a remarkably young age for a female player to win a World Championship in mixed doubles, which normally require a lot of experience, and also being able to top the world with 2 different partners. That's a very good sign of exceptional skills.
Yeah. Twice world champion with Nova Widianto. That 2005 in Anaheim that you mentioned, and
3,
also
1.
in 2007 in Kuala Lumpur.
And Nova's still here. Just moved back a little bit to the coach's chair.
Yeah.
4, 1.
Now, I know, Steen, you've watched these two pairs, as I have on many occasions. We've sung the praises of Liliyana Natsir. She really is a remarkable player. But how do you see this game going? Do you think, as so often in her matches, she's a crucial factor in the outcome?
Yeah, pretty much. The Chinese pair, I mean, we know the Indonesian pair, Liliyana Natsir, likes to be at the front court, controlling the net and being really cool. They're setting up these kind of situations for Ahmad, who's normally quite lethal in his attack. That would be important if the Chinese could make these cross lifts on his smashes, get him to move. He's very good at moving from one side to the other, but if you can move him back again, then he's a little bit in problems. I think Bao Yixin, compared to Huang Yachong, whom we saw yesterday, Bao Yixin is a little bit more experienced. I give her a better chance of challenging Natsir on the net if she has a good day. Yeah, Liu Cheng, quite accomplished player, but not as good in the mixed game, the mid-court game as Liu Kai we saw yesterday. But pretty much in all other phases of the game, I rate him a little bit higher. So
yeah, interesting
match, but a good start for the Indonesians, and that's of course comforting for them, but worrying for the Chinese. And they haven't really. They don't seem totally alert here in the beginning.
No. Do you think that's because Liu Cheng is still involved in two different disciplines? Of course, he'll be playing men's doubles semi-final, fifth match on the adjoining court, playing with Liu Kai against the former champions Bo and Mogensen. And is that distracting the focus, do you think? Or
it might be, but there could be a number of other reasons as well.
Sure.
Might have slept bad, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Service over.
Let's see if they can get back in it. And interesting that Bao Yixin choose to use a long return here. I think it's very wise, because I'd rather give the shuttle to Ahmad than I would try to challenge Liliyana Natsir at the net.
Good flick serve.
Yeah, also one of the wise tactical things to do. Yeah, very powerful.
He is
Liu Cheng.
powerful. Yeah. You can see from his physique, but I mean his attacking play, it's, you know, he's sort of relentless, isn't he, when he gets on the attack. Of course, his partner, Bao Yixin, is a former champion here at the Denmark Open. Won the women's doubles 2 years ago with Tang Jinhua. Beat the Danish pair, Peterson and Ruta Yo, in that final 2 years ago.
Well played.
And to me, it's quite interesting, Steen, that Bao Yixin appears in the second half of this year. I know she played women's doubles here, but I think she lost in the first round with
Zhong Chenxin.
That's it. But, I mean, I think back a couple of years, 2013, she was in 9 finals, winning 8 titles. It's women's doubles with 4 different partners.
Yeah.
You know, she won the All England this year with Tang Xuanting and the Swiss Grand Prix Gold the following week. And now that partnership seems to have been dissolved. And
yeah, she's a very difficult player to figure out from our perspective, because sometimes she's playing in really strong partnerships, mostly in women's doubles. I mean, this is also a very strong partnership, but we don't see the same shuffle going on in the mixed as we've seen in the women's doubles. And I don't know, she was quite a force together with Tang Jinhua in the women's doubles, but they seem to falter on the big occasions, and I think that has sort of influenced the shuffles going on right now, because I don't think perhaps the Chinese team management has the faith that these young players
9.
can take the pressure of the big events.
Yeah. Well, of course, it was with Tang Jinhua at the World Championships last year in Denmark. They were the #1 seeds.
Yeah.
They lost their first match. They had a bye in the first round and then lost in the last 32. So you're right. I mean, there is a question mark there. I wonder after their silver medal at the World Championships this year in the mixed doubles whether, you know, they're gaining more in experience, whether she's got question marks in her own mind about women's doubles and feels more confidence in the mixed. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. And there also might be personal reasons within the women's doubles team. That's not always easy to predict from outside.
Yeah.
8.
I think this pair here, Bao Yixin in the picture and Liu Cheng, I think they're the ones we're going to see at the Olympics in Rio alongside Jiang Nan and Zhao Yonglei, the reigning Olympic champions. I feel that this pair is on their way up, whereas Xu Chen and Ma Jin have fallen a little bit. They're losing matches that we didn't see them lose before, and I think they're actually now the #2 pair here. Liu Cheng.
Of course, Xu Chen and Ma Jin, the pair you're talking about, were the defending champions, but lost in the quarterfinal stage to Go Sun Hyun and Kim Ha Na. Oh, that's a lovely change of pace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I thought this was going to be very one-sided from the early stages. 8-2, the advantage to the Indonesians. Now it's 10-all.
Service fault called.
Service fault called.
Service over. 11-10.
Struck above the waist. No.
好球啊，已
Disappointing
经慢慢
way for
进入状态，适应了
Yeah, don't
啊，这
disagree
把是
either.
打起来，这个很重要啊，
Good call.
控制你的底线是对的啊，怼你这边你先弹开，然后有机会的时候呢，第3拍你要主动给人家大胆敢压啊，不能说限制防御嘛，有机会的时候你要大胆压啊，他摆开了，你中间那边要压出来啊。
我接发球也是，他真的好，可以接那个强化，两个强化往里站，我这个不要紧。
小拍第1拍防守啊，第1拍防守跳起来的时候。
Batasnya kita juga gitu, bukanya batas-batas dulu aja. Tapi kalau udah bola di bawah, sekali clear dulu aja, tinggi nggak apa-apa. Dia kalau temponya begini, kamu gini paksain, dia cepat ngepasin. Ya, tapi nggak boleh lama-lama, tetap bisa itu taruh lagi defense-nya. Ya, karena itunya kalau kamu angkatnya begini-begini.
That's Eng Hian, who's accompanying Noah Widianto.
Ini batas-batasinya tuh, nggak usah kenceng, batas-batasinya aja.
The former Olympic bronze medalist from Indonesia.
Temponya turun tapi nggak usah kenceng-kencengan.
20 seconds.
I thought he was mostly responsible for the women's doubles
Turunin
team.
dulu aja.
Yeah, I
ya.
did too. He was a clever player, wasn't he?
Yeah, excellent on the front court.
Yeah.
They've had so many beautiful front court players.
12.
Indonesia. Clever play right now from the Chinese pair, challenging Tontowi Ahmad to win the game for the Indonesians. Playing past Liliyana Natsir whenever there's a chance to do that, doesn't want her in the game,
Yeah.
and requires some self-confidence in the defense. But it might work. I think it's a good strategy. And as a female mixed doubles player, you really want to be touching the shuttle, because otherwise you have very few touches and they have to be really, really accurate. And
Yeah.
it makes it a little bit unrhythmic.
And that's interesting as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That the attacking play is down on Ahmad.
And very clever.
Yeah.
smash placement because he's not really turning the defense around a lot. Liliyana Natsir is much better at that. However, if I were absolutely sure of killing it from the middle of the court or so, I think I would target Natsir just to see if I could sort of get her confidence a little bit lower. It's okay that she gets the touches from the backcourt because she's not really dangerous.
No.
They're really relying on their defense, Bao and Liu. That's well played.
Oh, it's called out.
Oh.
14-12.
Yeah,
Yeah,
clearly out.
good call. Yeah.
14.
The other thing I've noticed since they were 2-8 down, I think that, I made a comment that once he's on the attack, Liu Cheng, he's relentless and he's powerful and so on. Ever since I've said that, I've noticed how many soft shots he's hit and how controlled and how patient. Totally opposite to what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's clever, that's good. Good
That's a
discipline.
development. That's a development, and especially if you play soft shots to Ahmad, he's not turning it around.
No.
Service
So you
over.
just get yourself into a controlled position instead of
13,
perhaps smashing a little bit off
14.
balance and opening up for a counter-attacking possibility.
Yeah.
Interesting to see the finish of this first game here. Well played. Two excellent actions from Natsir.
14-all.
Well placed, that smash. He was on.
Oh, my goodness, did you see that? He was smoothing out the feathers, but it was, how do I put this? Sort of almost squeezing the feathers, which would make it a little bit quicker, the shuttle.
That's not allowed. You're not
No,
allowed
exactly.
to tamper with it. That's why you shouldn't adjust the feathers in any way because it's hard to see.
Oh, she's called a fault. She's called a fault. Bao Yixin can't believe it. Let's look at that again.
15-14. Too quick.
Too quick.
I cannot challenge you. Yeah.
That one, that's the one in question. The first one was perfectly all right. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, good spot.
Yeah.
Good spot, umpire. I agree.
15-14.
Yeah, sorry, going back to your point, of course you're not allowed to interfere with the shuttle, so if the feathers are ruffled, just change it.
Yeah, exactly.
And a new shuttle is a fast shuttle anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're, and I'm not suggesting, I think he was just smoothing out the feathers, but it did seem fairly, not violent, but a hard way of doing it, which could be perceived as trying to interfere with the shuttle. And you don't want anybody to have that perception.
16-14.
Oh, ebb and flow of this now.
Yeah, and they've been more patient the last couple of rallies. The Indonesian team, Liliyana Natsir and Tontowi Ahmad, more patient in their attack, not firing away at the first chance, but also mixing it up with drop shots.
Oh, service fault called.
Service over.
Racket not pointing in a downward direction this time.
Please, play. 15-16.
It's one service fault apiece.
Oh, that was going wide, I
It
think.
was, wasn't it? But every shot in that rally by the Chinese pair, I had to stop myself saying, good shot, good shot.
Yeah,
good
exactly.
shot.
16.
Very alert by Bao Yixin at the net.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things I think that few pairs have an advantage serving short service to Liliyana Natsir because she's so good at returning. But Bao Yixin is good enough to sort of rise to the challenge at least once in a while.
Well, I remember saying to one of our crew members, I think 3 years ago or something, said, mark my words, Bao Yixin one day will be a world champion.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got, to me, that array of shots, the awareness on court. The only thing, as you've already identified, is dealing with the big occasions.
Yeah. But, I mean, most players have trouble in the beginning of their career dealing with the big occasions. I remember Lin Dan being the favorite for the Olympics in 2004 and not being able to cope with it, and also being the favorite for the World Championships in 2005, losing the final to Taufik Hidayat. So,
yeah.
So you got to get used to this and learn how to cope with these big events.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, well-constructed points once again by the Chinese pair.
That smash, that's ridiculous in a positive way. It's so fantastic.
Yeah.
He jumps so high, and there's so much power in it.
No, it wasn't the best of lifts, but you're right. Look at that. That thundered down.
17-all. Service over. 18-17.
That's interesting. The Indonesians keeping the flat game to the center line of the court, not trying to play to either left or right side.
Oh, good clear.
Service over.
Yeah. Deceptive, fast clear, doing the damage.
18-all.
And look at this jump smash again.
And it's cross again.
Cross court in mixed doubles to the man.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Yeah. But it works.
It works. And I don't know, but one of the reasons could be if they feel that Bao Yixin is better at intercepting in her backhand side compared to her forehand side, then you would target that side in order to get her into the game.
That's a good return. Yeah.
19.
Coupled with the point
18.
you were making earlier, that defensively, sometimes Tontowi Ahmad...
He's struggling sometimes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, everybody's struggling against that smash in a mixed doubles. Oi! Didn't get away from that. Hit her on the thigh. I suspect it might have been short.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good response from the Indonesians.
Yeah. 2 game point opportunities now. Opening game.
Yeah, very important.
To the number 2 seeds, Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir. 1 game away from reaching their 4th consecutive final here at the Denmark Open. They did do well, didn't they? Because I thought that having had such a lead... But look at that movement again. I know he made an error, but the physicality of the man is extraordinary. For their confirmation, 19 minutes for that opening game, 21-18. Tian Li, former world champion of men's doubles, imparting his advice.
现在发球最关键啊，发球对他推破你中路啊，这个完打起攻守来，我们得分都多的啊。现在最主要要形成攻守，明白吗？啊，很好，打起来很好，现在就是拼发球啊， 接发球都过了。
Agak mepet aja, Wi. Ini batasnya bagiannya ingat kalau ditekan jangan penasaran. Turunannya lebih enak, batas-batas ini lebih enak. Ya, butet agak mepet aja, tapi kamu jangan mepet ke butet, jangan telat sepatunya sering telat kamu. Ya, mepet-mepet aja. Ya. Defense-nya sono, kamu balikin aja ke sana, tapi lebih tenang. Butet berapa kali dingdong kena terus butet juga. Keblok terus. Balikin aja, coba berani, harus berani. Ya, sekali-sekali kendalanya di situ kalau diserang kita
I was about to hand the first game to the Chinese pair when they when the score was like 13-14. I thought they'd found the solution, but all credits to the Indonesians for taking their countermeasures, being more patient with their first attack, and in the flat game, instead of going for the sides, the sight lines, going for the center line, aiming at the body of the Chinese players.
Tadi agak keblok terus, balikin aja coba sekali-sekali, balikin ke orangnya lagi aja. Ya, fokus lagi ya. Ya.
You see?
It's gone long.
But the third shot from Ahmad, he's on his backhand side, and the return goes towards the center line again. Much more patient. Yeah.
Overdone it.
Yeah.
Do you like the idea of that, though? Or do you think that was just a desperation? I
To
desperately
hit
want
to the line, yeah. That's the one that where you, as a coach, you always criticize when it's a mistake and praise when it's
Yes,
inside,
yeah.
because then it's a brilliant idea. So just didn't execute well enough. You can do the same again. Just make it a little bit more precise. There it was again.
Yeah.
And that's too wild. He might have won this rally, but if he continues to attack wild like that, the Chinese are just going to stand and outmaneuver the Indonesians. The thing that worked for them in the later part of the first game was to be, of course, attacking, but all the time maintaining their balance so you can play the next shot with quality.
Yeah. No, did he hit himself, or what happened there? It looked to me as if the umpire was calling for the tournament doctor, but all's okay, I think.
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah, it's just picking up on that point, Steen. I always get the impression with Tontowi Ahmad that, you know, when he does go all-out attack and it doesn't initially work, it's almost like panic. I've got to finish it off.
Yeah.
Instead of this patient philosophy that you've been talking about.
1-3.
I don't know if he hit himself on the mouth or something.
Yes, I thought there was some
lip.
sort of, yeah.
Wow, that's it's a good service, but I'm wondering if it's pointing in a downward direction.
3.
No, he did get faulted for that in the opening game, didn't he? Let's have a close look at this. Was it because he was serving out wide, do you think?
I don't know. Great rally. He actually tried to play the soft controlling shot, Ahmad, but Bao Yixin anticipated that.
2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Service over.
Excellent play by Tontowi Ahmad.
3-4.
Absolute perfect placement of that final smash. Oh, that's been right. You're right. Since you mentioned it in the first game, I've been looking very carefully when there's no pace for Ahmad to feed off on those half-court area shots. He does struggle, doesn't he?
Yeah. If it's below the tape,
Yeah.
then he's human. Oh, what a fantastic interception.
Yeah.
4.
I don't know how
5.
many seconds she has, or milliseconds she has to react from the shuttle leaves the racket of Liu Cheng until Natsir has to make an action, but it's very, very short time.
Netop nu står verdensmestrene Henrik Schauern og Mohamed Hassan autografer ude i Yonex-stand i forhallen.
Wait.
Yeah. Well, the players saying we just want to wait for this public announcement to finish. Oh my goodness, through the legs. Good rally.
Excellent rally.
Service over.
Got that between the legs.
6-4.
Yes, good final placement of the shot from Bao Yixin as well. Saw that Ahmad was waiting, committed to his forehand defence.
Liliyana.
Yeah, well, that's wrong formation was spotted by Liu Cheng.
Play.
Yeah, he would rather serve to Natsir than Ahmad. Touches top of the net, then changes direction. So the timing is off for Natsir.
Players.
Well, the umpire's going to have a word with the players here, Klaus Schlieben.
7-4.
Not so much walking around.
No.
Quite right, too. This is a handsome little lead now for the number 4 seeds from China. Oh, that's beautiful. That is absolutely wonderful. Oh, they're going to challenge. They're challenging. Well, instinctively. Oh, you know what I thought.
Challenges.
I wasn't really alert when it hit the floor the first time, but when I looked up, I thought it might be out.
Oh.
But
just as
I
well
couldn't
got
really
Hawkeye to
give a qualified decision. No, I think that's it. It has the outer line.
Yeah.
Challenge unsuccessful.
No, I've got one right.
Yeah, yeah.
Service over. Correction out. In. Service over. 5-8. Play. 6-8.
No, it's going long.
No.
Yeah.
Service over. 9-6.
I have this feeling again that the Chinese are about to get the upper hand in this match. I think Tontowi Ahmad, since he was targeted in the first game, he raised his game and played really well towards the end of the first. But right now, the Chinese are in control, in my opinion.
Oh, my goodness, how good was that? Good interception in the first place, but look at the acute angle. Look at this. Slices it, brings it down so steeply.
Yeah, and she inflicted that on herself, Bao Yixin, lifting straight there. Instead of moving hard.
Well taken.
Service over. 10-7. Service over. 8-10. Nine, 10.
Oh. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Do you think it was coming faster, or he just couldn't get out of the way to give himself the freedom to play the shot?
I think Bao Yixin plays the corner where Natsir normally would try to come forward, but Ahmad covered it really, really well. Wasn't trying to change positions with Natsir. He was just staying at the net, letting his partner work, and that actually worked perfectly for the Indonesian pair, who sort of answered again to the Chinese challenge. Very interesting match, who sort of is a little bit up and down.
It is, isn't it?
So it's really more or less of a chess game between the two pairs.
Well, run of 4 straight points to the game interval with the 1-point advantage again, the Indonesians.
现在打起来都很正常，打起来正常。然后他都是接发球就推扑你，啊，推扑你的准备，能不能弹到对角去，这是一个。
然后进攻了，现在就不要说是死盯着你的，有中路啊，包括拿个边下，你都要可以打的，你知道吧？如果他现在这个
20 seconds.
调整一下进攻的这个。Habis terima servisnya, Wi. Banyak poin di situ, Wi. Ya, batas-batasin cepatnya harus itu. Nah, kendalanya kalau udah bola jalan, defense-nya itu harus berani. Kayak tadi terakhir tuh, balikin situ. Enak. Kalau begini-begini terus, karena bloknya nggak enak itu mereka. Ya, harus berani. Kalau defense harus berani nyoba. Wi, kamu bisa tuh, keser ya. Ya, tapi fokus di servisnya itu. Fokus bola tipis, kamu ya, batas-batasin cepatnya.
Ominous start to the second half of this second game.
Bolanya naik kok, nggak masalah kok. Kamu atur aja, ya. Ayo. Ingat bagiannya, Wi. Kontrol tangannya bagiannya.
the net court.
12.
Court number 2, women's singles. Please welcome world number 3 and winner of the Victor Korea Open from Korea, Sung Ji-hoon.
Well,
She's facing
the announcements for the players coming on to the adjoining courts for the women's singles semi-final. Sung Ji-hoon against the Olympic champion Liu Cheng. And you can obviously hear the public address, and that's disturbing the players.
Yeah, there was a good chance in the interval here to announce these players.
Liliyana, you. 12, 11.
So an extra little break here.
Yeah.
On court 1.
Well, it may have looked fairly straightforward, but I'm telling you, technically, that was incredible. The shuttle's gone past her. I think it was below net height, and she plays a winning shot like that. That is extraordinary.
Oh,
Yeah, that's good too.
14.
I was about to say she missed that one, but she just managed to control it.
Yeah. Seven over the last 8 points. Extraordinary. Well, it's just emphasising the point you made, Steen, that not only how important Liliyana Natsir is in the outcome of matches, but also, you know, the ebb and flow of this match is totally unpredictable. You think one pair's getting the upper hand, then it all switches. And
Yeah, no, I'd like to take the Indonesian side, of course, first.
Yes.
One game in the bag and 4 points up. And the Chinese pair look a little bit disheartened now.
16.
9 of 10 points.
11.
Do they have any more cards on their hand? Any more ideas?
Service over. Foul. 12. 16. Yeah.
Oh, she anticipated that. She's not going to be fooled anymore by that little bit of trickery on the return of serve from Liliyana Natsir.
Service over.
Yeah, both the Chinese players trying to defend.
13.
Well, the luck with the Indonesians, but you have to think on occasions, and I think this was one of them, you create your own luck.
Yeah.
He was really trying to drive that back. He was aiming it into the right area of the court. Bao Yixin seemed to be looking for the straight return. Oh, string's gone.
Service over. Yeah. Yeah. Quick. Come back. Test. You want to test? Leo? Thank you. 14-18. Service over.
Well, it is remarkable how the Indonesians have turned this around. It
14.
really is. It's 7-10 down. Since then, they've been really totally dominant.
Yeah, 12-4 since then.
Yeah. Yeah, change of pace, that's
excellent play.
clever. And that excellent play brings up match point opportunities.
20. Match point 14.
Oh, no service short.
Service over. 15-20.
That's lovely. I think this semi-final steam has emphasised how important it is to be on the attack, hitting the shuttle in a downward direction. You know, and in mixed doubles, I mean, we see it in maybe some of the other disciplines, especially women's doubles, that, you know, defensive play can get you through a match, but not in mixed doubles. Oh, error on serve from Liu Cheng, hands the match points to the Indonesian pair. A fourth consecutive final here at the Denmark Open for the former world champions Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir.
Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir, 21-18, 21-16.
Umpire confirming the 21-18, 21-16 in 44 minutes. Well, we thought they were consistent with their 10th semi-final in their 11th tournament this year. Tomorrow, they will contest their 4th final. Good performance from the Indonesians.
Service over. Service over. Service over.
So that's the first of our semi-finals, and Tontowi Ahmad and Liliyana Natsir, the number 2 seeds, safely through to what will be their 4th consecutive final here at the Denmark Open. Men's singles up next, and then mixed doubles, the next 2 matches involving Danish players. After that, we'll have women's singles, and Carolina Marin, the 2-time world champion from Spain, against PV Sindhu of India. Lovely to see PV Sindhu back after all her injury troubles earlier this year. Then we finish with women's doubles and the qualifiers from Korea, Jung and Shin up against Kakiwa and Maeda of Japan. So to our next match, it is men's singles. Chen Long, the world champion and number 1 seed from China, up against the young Dane, the number 6 seed, Victor Axelsen